Hey yeah, my name's Scotty and today I'm going to show you a real quick and easy way to make a scrunchie with zero visible stitching. So to do it this way, you are going to need some elastic, some fabric scissors, something to thread your elastic. You could just use a safety pin, or you could go down to Spotlight and get one of these cord puller or threader. This long one I like, so it's got a eye at the end. Just thread your elastic through there and it just makes it so easy. I like to use fabric glue rather than doing a slip stitch at the end because I'm lazy and it's just, you use barely any of it, so this is going to last me forever. You're also going to need a threaded sewing machine. Now let's get started. What you got to do, right, is cut your fabric into a strip 10 centimeters by 50 centimeters. Step 1 is to fold it in half with your pattern on the inside. Line up the two 10 centimeter ends and you want to sew just across the top there. Just straight down there. Here's one I prepared earlier and I've already sewn across here. So it gives you that. Right. Now using that sewing line as your starting point, I normally put that on the bottom, lay it down flat, but with your sewing joint is here. So you've got that just about an inch down on the bottom. And now get the top layer of fabric and you want to hide that in the center. So both sides of the top layer of fabric there. So I'm just going to take it a little bit closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. You can see I've just got the top layer stashed in the center because you want to try and hide it. Stash the fabric in the center. As you can see, just fold up the top layer and bring the bottom over to itself. So where your first sewing line is now meeting itself, as you can see, with the other layer stashed out of the way, so I can sew here and not worry about touching that bit. So using that, line it up, and you just want to sew straight down, like this. Making sure you do the back stitch just to lock it in, just a couple of threads, and then continue on. Now here we are, we're at the end, and I've got my needle in a downward position so my fabric's not going to move. I can then just grab this inner layer of fabric, this inner section that's still tucked in. And as you can see, the top of the scrunchie up here is now pulling in itself. And I'm now pulling it down through itself because it's a tube, exposing more that needs to be sewn. So lining them back up, making sure I'm continuing on nicely. So again, I just pull it through itself, just put my finger in, pull on that gently while holding that and encourage, see how it's, yeah, just like that, it's that easy. And then at the bottom now is where I started, so it gets interesting in a second. And continue sewing. Now, I'm, again running out of space. It gets harder now because this is where I started. Now, you don't want to sew over that point. If you go past this point, you're not going to be able to turn it in the right way. So you need to make sure you leave about 1 centimeter or so, enough to be able to pull it in the right way. So that is about there. And again, making sure you do a reverse stitch to make sure you're just locking it in so it doesn't come unstitched. So you go backwards, just cut off your excess threads. You can see on this side, there, that's where I stopped sewing, that's where I started sewing. So I've left that much there. Now if I get my elastic threader and just put the ball end into the hole that I'd left, like that, and of that, as you can see, and then just pull it in the right way. Right. And there you go. Now it's in the right way, looking really cool if you're a cat person, which I am. So now I've just got this one 1 centimeter opening there, which is where I will thread my elastic through. I'm going to put it through my little threader. So now I put it into the opening that I left, as you can see, and just feed it through. What you want to make sure is that you hang on to one end. Hang on to the loose end that's hanging out. And there we go. So now I've got the elastic end out. So I just need to undo that knot. You want to tie those two ends together. Like that. So it's a double knot. Now I pull on it to make the knot a little bit tighter, but you don't want to keep pulling on it because as you'll see, the elastic starts pulling in to the knot. So everyone, once you get a scrunchie, will want to start stretching on it, pulling on it. So what I do is I don't pull it too tight now because it will undo itself. I just hand sew a few stitches in to there. Just needle and thread. And again, just hand sew the little bits down to the elastic, one on either side. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Nothing too full on. Just jump over to the other side. Yeah. So very quickly and messily, just sewing those together. So those ends are now not coming undone. So no matter how hard people are pulling on it, the knot isn't going to slowly come loose. So let me just pull it back out. There we go. Just snipped off the end, the needle's gone. Now I can lose the elastic inside of the scrunchie. Ta-da! And what's different between this and other ways that people make scrunchies is the elastic is free to move completely inside the scrunchie. It's not stuck at any point. So there is the opening. It's only 1 centimeter long, just there. So I just get my fabric glue. Oh lordy. Get the fabric glue. And then just the littlest bit, just on the inside of the lips, because you don't want it to be on the outside, just on the inside creases there. Gently just put a little dab. There we go. As you can see there, just a little dab. Now I'm going to gently, maybe using my needle maybe, just spread it out slightly. There we go. Just press it together. And that's it. That's how you do it. That's one finished scrunchie. Generally, you do have to wait for that glue to completely dry, but it's holding in place perfectly. They always do because it's only a small opening. But that's one finished scrunchie. Cat scrunchie. Yeah. And that's how you do it. It's that simple.